Okay, sorry about that. The first one was just too long. Right, so the dispatch companies, the many that there are, some are good, some are bad, like really bad. Do your research. If you're planning or hoping to come to Japan and you're going to come through a dispatch company, ALT company, please do your research, check the reviews, and if you decide on a company, please do not think these companies are your family. They're not. You're there to do a job. They want you to do a job. They're there for profit. Now, some will probably take better care of you than others, and so look at that. If you decide to come with a company that maybe doesn't have a great reputation, please just remember that you've made that decision. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please remember you have made that decision, and don't get upset. This is a business, okay? It's a business. Look at it that way. You're in it for something. Maybe you wanted to come to Japan. You've always wanted to be in Japan, and that's a means to the end. Okay, just remember that, and know that you do have rights. When you come and you get your visa through this company, the company does not control your visa. They do not. Okay, even if they let you think that, they do not. Do your research on your rights. Okay. You can actually, once your visa is about to expire, you can actually apply to renew your visa, and you have your company. They have to sign. You need to show proof of a job, a way of paying for yourself. So your company can sign a document. If your company refuses, that's a red flag. They shouldn't be refusing. Okay. You can, before your visa is up, if you feel like your company is probably going to hold you hostage, I would advise you to find a job. Oh, he's doing his exercise with his wheelbarrow. Good for you. Find another job. Have something ready in case your company throws you under the bus. You have to be practical. Listen, and please note you have rights. Do your research. Okay. So let's say you have 2 months to renew your visa. Hopefully it's during the hiring season or near the hiring season. Please start looking for a job around the area, or at least be ready to look for a job or have one in your pocket. So if you're renewing and your company decides that they're not going to help you, at least you'll have a job, a possible job waiting. Look at different options. But let's say your company's fine, they will sign the document that shows that you are employed. Great. So you can renew your visa yourself, get the application downloaded, fill it out, get all the necessary things done, get your company or a company that you will or are working for to fill out the form, stamp it, and you take it in, and that should help get you your visa renewed for 1 or 3 years. Yeah, and enjoy life in Japan. Remember I talked about, even if you don't like your job, you have a job, right? You have a steady job. English teaching is probably one of the easiest jobs for persons in English-speaking countries. And in some cases, you don't have to be from the English-speaking country. Some companies will hire, persons from other countries that don't speak English, that English is not their national language. Like, or English is not their de facto language. I think the USA English is the de facto language, but not the national language. In Jamaica, it's the national language. France, French is the national language, but there are some people who speak English excellently, and they are in Japan as English teachers, and maybe they can also be French teachers on the side. Yeah. So yeah. Come to Japan. I hope you're coming to Japan because you've always been interested in visiting the country or living in the country or something. If you're coming just for the money, I mean, I'm not about going anywhere just for the money because, you can go anywhere if it's just for the money. My motivation for coming here was not the money, but it's a nice perk to get paid to live in a country that you actually like and have always wanted to be in. It's a perk. I like that. If there is anything else you would like to know about coming to Japan, please hit me up in the comment comment section, and whatever I can share, I'll share. But just remember, there are several options. Know that you have rights when you do come to Japan to work. As a foreigner, you may not have the same wonderful rights as the Japanese, but you do have rights. And don't let any company tell you otherwise. You are protected. You're a protected group. There are some things you won't get. So let's talk about those. Now, I've never had. Why are you? Sorry, bicycle rider decides to come on the road. He was on the sidewalk the whole time. Now he's on the road, and you have to really give them a wide berth. Some discrimination that you may experience. Housing. Now, if your company gets you housing, perfect. If you can get into where you are, housing, you are, let's see if I can remember, Leo Palace, Village House, I think. These are the three that I am aware of off the top of my head that will rent to foreigners without a ton of issues. If you are renting, like you see an apartment you like and you just want to rent that apartment, you go through a real estate agent. The real estate agents aren't necessarily the problem. Money is money for them. It's the landlord that could be a problem. They may not want to rent to a foreigner. I mentioned this in one of my previous videos. I've never had the experience personally that I'm aware of. Other than when I came on the JET program, they provided housing for me. When I worked with Interact, they provided housing. And then when I started renting independently, I went straight with UR apartments or UR Danchi. Yeah, UR housing. Village House is something new to me, but that is similar to the UR. They don't require a guarantor. They don't charge you key money. I'm going to talk about that. And they are easy to use. Leo Palace also will rent to anyone. Cute small apartments. Very easy. They're a little expensive though, I think. Yeah. The prices are, I have seen some cheap ones. And usually those are older units, maybe in certain parts of not very conveniently located, although I think they are generally conveniently located. But my experience is that the rents have always been over 50,000 yen. Maybe that's not a lot to some people, that's a lot to me. And the spaces are small, but very convenient because they are pretty much furnished with the basics. That's the Leo Palace apartments. Right. Now, renting from a regular apartment run by an agency, they may be fine with working with you, but they have to check with the landlord. The landlord may say, I don't want to work with any foreigners. Please tell me why there's an issue with renting to foreigners, as if foreigners are some entity that can't operate like a normal, decent human being. I don't know. This irritates me. I've never had the experience that I'm aware of, but yeah, that's the situation. There's a guy, I forgot his name. He did an Instagram thing about that. I mentioned this before, and he got a lot of attention on that about the discrimination. There are people who have been living in Japan for decades, have businesses, they're established, they are firmly rooted in Japan, and they've been denied rent, and it's quite defeating to be discriminated against in that way. And it's not necessarily about your race. Well, it's about your race because you're not Japanese, but it's not about your individual race. Although sometimes that happens, I've heard, where they don't want to rent to black people. They'll rent to foreigners but not black foreigners. They rent to foreigners but not this group or this racial group or ethnicity or whatever. But generally, even for whites living here, they do get discriminated against. So and credit cards. Oh wow, getting a credit card. That's another issue. getting a credit card. Maybe in the USA, in Jamaica, getting a credit card is easy because you know what they want you to do? Spend your money, spend the money, and then they can get you with the interest. So it's and if you don't pay, they'll get collectors to go after you. In Japan, they are not. They will make it very hard for you to get a credit card. I've been trying to get a credit card. Now I've only been here about 7 months. But when I was here before, for about 11 years, I didn't get a credit card until I forgot when, how long into Japan. And there were some hurdles. I applied to, I know I applied through my bank, I didn't get that. I may have applied to 3 different places, didn't get it, and then I applied to one other place. It was one of those travel, hold on. Travel, oh God, airlines. Hold on. It was one of those airlines, like JAL, ANA, like American Airlines and so forth, and they have their little card thing. Their, not point card, why can't I remember? Anyway, those cards. And the one I applied to was a Japanese airline, and they had the card, you can just punch in your number and you can get points or whatever. And I'm coming through. Oh, good, they're moving. And so there, you could get a credit card with that number, and I got it. Yeah, JCB, it was a JCB account, and I got it, and that was very convenient for me, very convenient. But yeah, a lot of people complain that getting a credit card as a foreigner is difficult. So I'm gonna, I don't know if I'll get a credit card. I've applied several times. Maybe I've applied too many times. Maybe like, why is she applying so many times? What kind of illegal act is she up to? I just need a credit card. It makes life a lot easier. Before I wasn't keen on getting a credit card, but it really does make life easier for you. But yeah, I'm trying to be modern. I guess I was kind of old school in a lot of ways. Don't get a credit card and all of those things. But now I realize that you kind of need it. But Japan is really a cash-based country. A lot of things are cash-based. You can go buy a car for, I don't know how much a new car costs, but I'm going to say let's go with 3 million. And you can pay with cash. I'm not walking around with 3 million in cash. Are you crazy? I'm not doing that. But yeah, they're fine with that. Which is probably why older people get targeted by criminals, because they're old school and they'll do the cash-based transactions and have lots of money on them. And so they may be targeted. Not all of them do that, but some do. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. We're now at 13 minutes. If there are any questions, let me know. I will be trying to get an apartment so that will allow me to have cats. That's my goal. I'm not saying if I'll do it, but yeah, I'm not doing it now. I want to get a cat, or at least foster cats. And there's a few rescue organizations in Japan that they appeal for foster parents, and I'd like to do that before I decide if I want to adopt. I miss having cats, and I think that's a nice way of helping these unfortunate animals. It's a win-win for both myself and the animal and the organization. So it's a win-win-win. All right, so that's it. Any questions, let me know. Any suggestions, let me know. Any corrections, please put them in the comment section. Do not forget to like and subscribe. And that's it for today. So got to go, guys. Bye.